Hi guys, it's Esme from Esme Reads. I'm here with you today. I am going to talk about the books I read in January. January was a really good reading month for me. I enjoyed a lot of books. I read 13 total, so I'm going to list the books I read in the order that I read them in. The first book I read this year, nonfiction. What? Yeah, nonfiction. I read Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer. I didn't know what to expect going into this, and it was really interesting. The storytelling was okay. I appreciate all of the information that went into this to help me understand better. I liked it, didn't love it, but I'm glad I read it. And I saw the movie afterward too, and it was pretty good too. I gave Into the Wild 3 out of 5 stars. In December of 2016, I read The Testing by Joël Charbonneau. I hope I said that right. But I continued with the series, and the second book I read this January was the second book called Independent Study. And I really enjoyed this book. I really liked it as a second book because sometimes second books in series are kind of filler, but this one was really good. It had action in it. It was very interesting. I really liked the storyline, and I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. No surprise that the third book I read in January was the third and final book in the trilogy of the Testing trilogy, and Graduation Day by Joël Charbonneau. I hope I said that right. And I really enjoyed it. It was a really good concluding book. I liked the series. I know that a lot of people say that it's so much like Hunger Games, but I thought the story was unique enough and very entertaining and fast-paced. And I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The fourth book I read, I was actually reading with the kids. We were buddy reading because we have 2 copies of the book. And I thought it would be a good idea since it's a middle grade and the movie comes out this year, but they kind of didn't finish reading it. So I just wanted to get through the book. So I went ahead and finished it, and that's Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I know that this is a favorite book to many people, and I understand why. I thought it was good, but I expected more. It was kind of I don't want to say disappointing, just not what I expected. And I thought it was just okay. I hope the movie makes me love it so much more. I love Julia Roberts. I can't wait to see it. But I gave the book Wonder 3 out of 5 stars. The fifth book I read in January, I actually found at, I don't want to say a thrift shop. I don't want to say exactly where I got it, but this place sometimes gets, what do you call it? Donations from the local newspaper, and I guess the local newspaper gets gets books that are going to be released later in the year, and they donate them to this place. And I can't believe I found this book like 5 days before its release date of January 17. And so for the first time ever, I got to read a book that wasn't even out yet. So, and that was A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. I'm so glad I found this book. I think the cover is beautiful. The story was so good for YA. My heart broke in so many places in this, and it was really difficult to read sometimes. But I very, very much enjoyed this. I recommend it. A book of friendship. It was so good. It was so good. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. The sixth book I read in January, I didn't really like. Every Heart, a Doorway by Seanan McGuire. I hope I said that right. I thought I was going to get more of the world in the story, like the worlds that the people go, the kids go in the doors, and it turned into like a mystery, and I guessed who it was early on, and I don't know. It let me down. I only gave it 1 out of 5 stars. The 7th book I read this month was also disappointing to me, and I know that I might get butchered and I might hear it in the comments, but I didn't like this book, and that was The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. I understand why people like it. I didn't connect with it. I understand why it's beloved, even though it just came out, and I think people should read it. I just didn't really like it. And I love Mindy McGinnis. I love Not a Drop to Drink by Mindy McGinnis, and I read A Madness So Discreet, and I really liked that one too, but I just didn't really like The Female of the Species. The 8th book that I read this month was We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. I heard great things about this book, and I went into it blind, and I was really surprised. Oh my goodness, just in the first couple of pages, I thought the writing was phenomenal. I thought it was amazing. It was really, I love the writing. The writing gets 10 stars. But I really enjoyed the book. I didn't super love it. I really liked it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The 9th book I read this month was a thriller, and I'm so glad I read it. It was very good, and it was I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. This is Claire McIntosh's debut novel, I believe, and she did such an amazing job. I felt so tricked. Like, I can usually see things coming in books. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that, and it's not always. I do get surprised. But this biggest plot twist or biggest reveal or whatever you want to call it, if you want to really be surprised, this is the book to read. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. The 10th book I read this month was Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. Look at this beautiful book. Look, I have little notes in it. Wow, I'm fancy. I'm not. This was a really good book. It was difficult in the beginning because of the Icelandic names and some of the words, but once you get past that and you start getting into the story, you start becoming very attached to these characters. Great characters. Heartbreaking, insightful, touching. This was great. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. The 11th book I read this month was The Outsiders by Essie Hinton. I think I read this book like in high school or middle school. I just didn't really remember it. But when I read Pony Boy, I was like, what? But I gave it a shot, and I understand why this book is or was popular. It has, I mean, it's like, what, 20 years old? This is the Platinum Edition. I don't know how old it is. But good book. I didn't love it, but it was really good, and I enjoyed it. And it's only like 150 pages or so, so I recommend it. 4 out of 5 stars. The 12th book I read this month was The Unseen World by Liz Moore. Very good book. Literary fiction. Sometimes I don't pick it up because I have to think, and I'm not very smart, and I like to be entertained when I read. But I'm very glad I picked this up. I liked the flashbacks. I liked, the writing. The writing was really good. I really love the characters. I like how it ended. Very good book. I highly recommend it. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And the 13th and final book I read in January was Graceling. This has been on my TBR for a while. I know it was popular when it was published, like in what, 2008? Oh my goodness. 2008? I don't know when it was popular, but it was published in 2008. This one, I don't know. Fantasy. I was so in the mood for fantasy. I think everything I read was, yeah, almost everything I read was contemporary, and I just needed a break. I needed something, some other world. I needed to go to some other world after all the contemporary that I read. But I'm so glad I picked this up. I loved this. I read it within 24 hours. I really, really love this. I already said that, but why did I love it? Yes. Oh, Poe. Poe. I love Poe. If you've read this, you'll know why. But really good. Really, really good. Really good. 4 stars. 4.5 stars. Those are the 13 books I read in January. What did you read in January? If you didn't read anything in January, hey, it's February. Read some books. Got books? Please read some books. Let me know what you liked in January or in February, what you're looking forward to reading, what you'd like to see from my channel. I know I'm still starting out, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens and where this leads, and to share my love of books with you. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye. I keep saying, no more. No more uhs.